Welcome back to Symbiotic Vibration, everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of A Survivor's Guide to Survival. It has only been a week since episode 5, and I'm really happy to say that. It means that the weather is applicable and appropriate for me to go out and explore, which means that we're going to be able to get a lot more of these episodes done and out as fast as possible. So, with that being said, episode 6 today is going to be related to the idea of befriending one's illness, of seeing one's illness or whatever disharmony is going on within their mind or their body or their souls as a part of themselves, and the concept that this might be a messenger rather than an enemy, something that we have to have compassion towards. We're going to dive into some examples of experiments that have been done to prove to us that our thoughts have vibrations, that our words have vibrations, that are literally manipulating the cells within our bodies, and how to understand that, if we are to rephrase what we say to our illness and to our bodies and to our minds, that this can only have a positive impact on our healing journeys. Before we get into all of this, I would like to show you what's behind me. However, I find myself at Gaulstown Dolmen here in Waterford, Ireland. It is a portal tomb. It's absolutely amazing. It was built roughly 5,000 years ago, they say, which potentially dates it back further than the pyramids of Giza. And it is just an absolutely magnificent feat of the minds of our ancient ancestors. So before we get into this episode, I'd like to show you around. I hope that you enjoyed my video of this beautiful place. I'm becoming quite passionate with regards to videography. I'm definitely an amateur, but I'm trying my best to learn. And the idea of being able to combine both this series with all of these beautiful scenic backdrops and videos is very exciting to me, and I think it suits what I'm trying to do here. So do let me know if you're enjoying those little beautiful snippets with the music, etc. I'm going to structure this episode a little bit differently than usual. It's not going to be as long, I feel. It might well be, but I think it'll be a little bit shorter, maybe 30 minutes or so. And I'm going to give you a story right now about how I learned to befriend my illness while I had a brain tumour via a story from a wise older man who was connected to me all those years ago. And then I will bring you on a list of experiments that have been formed, which help us to understand that our thoughts literally have frequencies that manipulate the cells within our bodies, that our words act the same, and that if that is to be true, well then I think it would be of benefit for us to start to reshape how we think and reshape how we speak about what it is that's going on for us, whether we be ill or not. And so, to begin with, I'll take you back to 2016, I think. I was diagnosed with my brain tumour, and if you have gone through these past few episodes, you will have seen me tell you that there was many times when I would use very cursive language. I would scream to the skies, lots of swear words, and I would have arguments with God at the time is what I would have spoken. My universe, my creator, I would have used the word God, and I would have said, you're not real. Karma is not real. If this is happening to me after having such a good life, then none of this makes any sense. And I'm full of resentment, and I'm full of anger, and full of frustration towards you. And I'm so angry that this is happening to me. And I would also feel within me that this brain tumor was my enemy, and that I was having a battle with it. I was fighting against it. It was killing me. I did not like it. I did not want it to be there. I was frustrated. I would use cursive language at it too, and isolate myself, and so on and so forth. It was a very depressing and sad and malignant time for me. And so months later, I would eventually find some form of rhythm again and start to feel compassionate towards myself, but not well and truly. I was basing that all off intuition at the time. There's so much fight that one can have, but eventually it just drains every energy cell from us. It drains all the life force out of us, just holding up these walls and being resentful towards what it is that's wrong with us. And so I got a phone call from a man called Louis, who I used to work with many, many moons ago in a residential care setting. We used to work with kids who had autism, and he was probably pushing 70 at that point. But he had that really interesting life path where he began his life as a botanist, and he would spend years going around the world exploring tribes and their usage of plants and plant-based medicines, etc. So he was extremely wise, and then eventually would find his way back to Ireland, where he had a family, and he became a residential care worker. And that's where I met him. And I hadn't seen him in years because I had gone to Canada and I had fallen ill, and he contacted me via Facebook. He asked me would I go for a meal with him, and I said, yeah, absolutely, I would love to go for a meal. So my mother dropped me out to the place where we would go for food, and he was there as bright as usual. He was a really wise, gentle older man, and we sat down. He asked me some questions about what it is that I was facing, etc. I gave him the spiel, and he then told me that he had pancreatic cancer. Sorry, I take that back, prostate cancer. And I was just taken aback. I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to hold this. I don't know what it is that I'm supposed to say right here. So I just kind of freaked out as a younger man. And yeah, I'll skip through all of the details, but essentially we got towards the end of the conversation, and he looked me in the eyes and he said, your brain tumour and my tumour on my prostate, they're not our enemies. He's like, they're just a conglomerate of cells, and they're doing exactly what it is that they're here to do. And they're not malicious in any way towards us. They don't have the conscious ability to say, we're going to kill this person. They're literally just a group of cells doing exactly what it is that they're supposed to do within you. And thus they are a part of you. And thus you should have compassion for them, and you should tell them that you're their friend, and you should tell them that you love them, etc., etc. And I was just astounded by this information. I was a young man at this point. I didn't know what I do know now. So once I digested the information that this man had told me, it shifted my entire existence. Oh my God. I came home, I cried, I sat there, I wrote in a journal for a very long time about the idea that, oh my God, he's correct, that this tumour is literally me. It's a part of me, and I can't be angry at that, and I should love it. And from then on in, I spent all of my time having conversations with this tumour every morning, wishing it love, wishing it well, wishing it all of the most pure intentions that I could possibly wish it. And yeah, it's amazing what those intentions will do, what speaking beautiful, loving expressions to ourselves will do. It's not only the tumour. You speak to every cell in your body. You tell them that you love them, that you're a part of their team, and you care for them, and they're amazing, and your plan is to nourish them, etc., etc., etc. And we'll get into this a little bit more after my next two examples. So there's two experiments that I want to talk about today. One, I have to remember the name. I think it's Masamu Enamo. Let me check. So I always forget the name. It's Masaru Emoto. Yeah. So Masaru Emoto, I don't know where he was from, but he had an experiment that he undertook with regards to water molecules. And so what he would do is he would go down to a nearby lake and he would fill up jars of water. He would have many, many jars of water, and he would isolate them, and then he would speak to them all and play music to different ones. And so one of the glasses, just for example, he might say, I hate you. And he'd say that every day to this water. The next one, he would say, I love you. The next one, he'll say, I will kill you. The next one, he will say, you're amazing. The next one, he will play Mozart to. Then he will play heavy metal to, etc., etc., etc. He has 10, 12, 15 different jars, and then once he's finished speaking these words to them and playing these music to them, he freezes them, and then he puts the water molecules underneath a microscope, and he looks at the crystallized formations that they take. And you'll see that all of the ones that he spoke positively to and the music was played to, that was like Mozart, etc., were beautiful formations, crystallized. And then all of the ones that he would speak hate to and speak like I will kill you and show heavy metal music to, all of the crystallizations were distorted, which is very interesting to think about. So your words are vibrations that literally change the molecular structure of water. Now, let's just think about this. We are made up of primarily water. I think an adult is about 65% water and a child is just above 70% water. And so if we are to speak to water molecules in jars and they freeze in beautiful formations when we give them loving intention, and the opposite distorted when we give them resentful intention and play dirty music to them, etc., well then what do you think is happening when you speak to yourself, which is made up of almost entirely water? The exact same thing. It's amazing to think about. So I'll show you some of the pictures right now, right here. And as I'm speaking, I'll tell you that I'm also going to link some information with regards to Masaru Emoto's experiment in underneath the timestamps in the description of this video. So, experiment 2. A girl called Daniella Laporte, whose website I found, she was inspired by Masaru Emoto's experiment with the water molecules, so she took it one step further and she used her words to speak to an apple. So she had 2 different apples, and over the space of a month she spoke loving intentions into one and resentful hatred towards the next apple. And within those 30 days, the one that she was speaking to hatefully rotted, I don't know how many times quicker, but I can show you a picture right here and you'll see the difference. And so this is telling you that your words have power over everything that you're speaking them into you. I don't know if that makes any sense, but whatever it is that we're speaking to ourselves is literally affecting every cell within our body. So that picture up there with the apples is just proof that if we speak out our intentions in a loving way, that our cells respond in a much better way than if we speak things into a hateful way. And so again, more evidence that we should be speaking to ourselves and thinking about ourselves in a very loving, direct, beautiful, positive manner, because it can only supplement our healing journey and our growth. So, number 3, Bruce Lipton. He is somebody who has developed a theory called epigenetics, which is all based on your cells listening to your mind, listening to your thoughts, listening to your words. So it falls under the same categories. I don't know all the information about Bruce Lipton. I have read one of his books before, but not the epigenetics. And I'll also link some information about him and Daniella Laporte underneath here as well, if you do need to supplement any of the things that I'm saying. Bruce Lipton is always experimenting with the idea that our cells are producing chemical reactions from our thoughts. And he gives examples of us feeling like we're in an insecure place. If we are feeling insecure and our sympathetic nervous system starts to spike and we feel like we are in fight or flight mode, then all of our cells release chemical reactions. And in these stressful states, these chemical reactions within the cells promote physical diseases, they promote mental illness, etc. Whereas once we find a way to find harmony within our bodies, we enter a parasympathetic state of mind, which is relaxing, restorative. It's when we sleep, and that helps our bodies to heal. And it's just producing a different chemical reaction within our cells, which promote healing, etc., etc. I hope this makes sense. I'm paraphrasing everything here. I'm not a master at all on Bruce Lipton's epigenetics, but these are just 3 examples of things that tell us that what we speak and what we feel inside our minds is directly connected to all of the cells within our body and how we feel, which is extremely important for us to recognize while we're going through something like a brain tumor or we're going through cancer, etc. Now, just before we move on, a disclaimer: I'm not a professional and this is all anecdotal evidence. Go research it for yourself. I'm not telling you that you need to remove yourself from the medical industry and away from all these professionals because now you realize that your thoughts and your feelings can literally heal you. Now, it's possible, but what I'm trying to tell you here is that your thoughts and your words are extremely important in terms of your healing journey, and the idea of befriending your illness and speaking beauty and loving intentions into it can only supplement your healing journey and can just become another part of this toolkit that I'm trying to provide to you within this series. It's a beautiful thing. You are a powerful, beautiful, divine, cosmic, scintillating being, and I'm so sorry that you're going through something difficult right now, but trust me when I say this, that I see you, I feel you, and I've been there, and everything that I'm explaining to you right now was so helpful to me. Even when I was in pain, it was so helpful to me. And I truly believe that if we are to befriend ourselves, even if you're watching this and you're not sick, just to wake up every day and give yourself positive support and intentions and speak beautifully into your body and into your mind and into your heart can only be a positive thing. So we'll get into that a little bit more in a while. I think I'll finish up here for now. I hope that all of what I just said was helpful in any way, shape or form. Again, I'm saying not to replace anything. This is just like alternate healers in the last episode. It's just information that can supplement your medical journey if you are seeing professionals, etc. It's just information that can supplement your journey, a healing toolkit as such. So let's move on. I don't know where I'm going next, but I'm sure it'll be somewhere beautiful. If you're still watching this, let me know in the comment sections if this was helpful. If you have any more information that could help people, please do feel free to let us know in the comment section, because as we always say in every episode, we're trying to build a beautiful community here and help one another. And, I'm only using my journey and my experience, but I am but one man. And if we can all share within this community, it can only help everybody else. So I'll leave it at that. On to the next location, wherever that may be. Hello everyone, I'm not on a beach. I assume you anticipated that I would be on a beach, however, it was very busy down there, and if you've been following this series from the get-go, you'll understand that I don't like to impede on anybody's public outings. If they're trying to regulate their own nervous systems or enjoy the surroundings, I don't like to follow them around with cameras or just be in their presence filming. It doesn't make me feel comfortable to do so. And I also tried to go to 2 different portal tombs on the way to that beach. I'll show you those right now. Number 1 was Dunhill Portal Tomb. It was on a farmland. There was a smell of slurry and there was a lot of machinery around. However, it was beautiful. I just didn't feel like filming there, so I just spent some time there instead. Then I went to Ballynagear, which was 5 minutes away, another portal tomb on another private farmland, which also smelled like slurry and was very loud, so I didn't feel like filming there either. Then I went to the beach and then it was very busy. I found myself getting quite tired, so I've come back here. I also wanted to add in, before I go out to the garden and finish up this video, that Louis, the man I was telling you about who told me about the idea of loving my tumour and befriending my illness, he survived his prostate cancer and he's still alive to this very day. So just said I'd throw that in there. I'm really happy for him, and I'm happy that he came as a messenger to me from the universe to tell me that, because I believe he's one of the members of many that helped save my life. And if you're watching this, Louis, which I doubt you are, but if you are, you're amazing and I love you and you're just the best, man. I was inspired by you long before my illness, and yeah, you're a beautiful being. But anyway, you know what I'm trying to get across within this episode is very simplistic. I know I used some experiments and I spoke about some stories, and some of these things are anecdotal. I think mainstream science might potentially see these experiments as pseudoscience, and that's okay. I don't think everybody has to agree here. And I do also find that over the last 5 to 6 years, I personally am starting to, I suppose, find myself lacking in trust for things that are mainstream, like mainstream medias or mainstream science sometimes. That's not to say that everything is untrue, but I think it's fairly obvious at this point that some of these things are being used to manipulate us and used to control us. So I think it's vitally important for us on our healing journeys to keep an open mind, to trust our gut, to trust our discernment. And I'm not trying to tell you to develop a mistrust for health professionals or a mistrust for mainstream science, etc. I'm absolutely not saying that, so just make sure you know that. But what I am saying, as I did in the last episode about alternate healers, etc., I think it's beautiful for us to allow our scope to be as wide as we can, to acknowledge that there's many different ways to walk around on this healing journey, and there's many different options for us to explore. And so I think it's really important for us to have a look at all types of alternate healing. and alternate methods and theories. And I think that's where these experiments with water crystals and experiments with apples and epigenetics play a valuable role for us within this journey. I think it's super important for us to understand that our words, our frequencies, they're like spells that are thoughts emit frequencies that our cells are always listening to. And I think, yes, it is extremely difficult while you're sick and ill and suffering to think about even sending loving signals to whatever it is that's going on for you. I know that because I've been through it, but I can assure you that on a daily basis, if you begin to practice and not only saying it, but feeling it and believing it, that, you know, you love yourself, you love everything about you, you love every cell in your body, and they're all powerful and they're all beautiful and they're all nourished and they're all loving, and you're going to support them and you're going to feed them delicious food and you're going to sleep and feed them nourishing water all the time, etc., etc. The more you get into the idea of this, I think the better you'll feel. And it's, again, similar to nature in the last episode. It's just a tool. It's an extra supplement within your healing journey, something that will add value to your healing journey, something that will comfort you along the way. And I'm not telling you that just by sending loving intentions and vibrations towards every cell in your body, you're going to heal overnight. I'm absolutely not saying that. What I'm saying is it most certainly will benefit you and it will supplement your healing journey. So I hope all of this is making sense. Now I'm going to take my shoes off, grab a drink of water, maybe make a cup of tea, and yeah, I just have some more positive words to say really when we're out in the garden, and we'll finish up this episode from there. So yeah, no more cool videos. I'm just going to be straight to the garden and we'll finish this episode up nice and quick. Okay, we find ourselves in my garden. It's not the most scintillating backdrop, I will admit, but we will get some gnomes and furniture and mushrooms and things going out here as the spring continues into the summer. And hopefully then we'll have some nice backdrops to video in. But alas, we're outside and it feels good. And I guess just to finish off this episode, did you see Tequila? There she is. You probably saw my cat passing. I can't really see the screen. But as we come to the end of this episode, I would just like to further touch on the idea of what we're talking about here in terms of trying to find harmony within ourselves. So, like I said, everything has frequencies. Word has frequency. Thoughts have frequency. Feelings, emotions, everything has a frequency. We're literally living within a fractal field of waveforms and electricity, and those waveforms are also ourselves. We've been given this divine, strange opportunity to live within these physical bodies and perceive through our senses, but everything that we're perceiving is waveforms. We're waveforms. She's a waveform. She's a beautiful waveform. Hello. This is Tequila, everybody. This is our cat. She's amazing. And this is her first entrance into A Survivor's Guide to Survival. So we're really happy about that, aren't we? Hello. Hi. Hi, you're beautiful, yeah. She protects us in the astral realms. Now, where was I? Harmony. So, I am lacking in direction right now because the cat has come along. But did you also know that the word cosmos means harmony? It means order, which is interesting, and chaos means disorder. And the idea of what we're trying to do within this episode is to learn that a supplement to harmonizing our bodies, to finding harmony within ourselves, which in turn means healing this disharmony that we now find within ourselves. To supplement our healing journey, the idea of using our expressions towards ourselves, our feelings, our thoughts towards ourselves as a medicine, as another tool along your healing journey. It's a beautiful thing. And it takes a lot of practice, and it's not going to happen overnight if you have any self-deprecating thoughts. I myself am prone still, but in the past most certainly was prone to casting negative thoughts towards myself, to feeling a lot of shame and a lot of guilt and a lot of resentments. And all of these things create disharmony within our bodies, within our minds, within our souls. So it's important for us to start to recognize that and start to work on that. So what can I offer you as advice? I think using mantras is really, really important in terms of trying to allow ourselves to love ourselves, to feel grateful for our existence, to send loving messages to ourselves. I used to use ones over and over again while I was ill. I used to say, I'm mindful, I am powerful, I am observant, I am patient, I am loving, I am a part of the universe, I am the universe is me, and so on and so forth. I would remind myself of these things on a daily basis, if not an hourly basis. Look in the mirror and say these things. I would go for a walk and say these things. I would say these things in my mind before I was going to bed. And not only those things, but a myriad of others. And I would write in my diary, same as, I'm going to get better. When I get better, I'm going to do this. And constantly directing my thoughts into positive patterns and allowing myself to love myself and feel grateful for myself, but also allowing myself to believe that I would be better and my body would find its way to harmony once again. And yeah, if I was you and I was watching this and I was struggling, I would begin to journal, like I've been telling you in every episode, to journal, to tell yourself that you're amazing, you're beautiful, and you're powerful, and your body will be in harmony, and it is in harmony. And whatever it is that's going on for you, whether that's mental or physical or spiritual, the same applies. Tell whatever it is that's wrong with you that you love yourself. It's a part of you and you love that and you're so grateful, but you want it to be harmonious with you, and etc., etc., etc. I don't need to keep going on. If you are going to go down the path of trying to send positive vibrations via word, via thought, via writing, then it's not me who will dictate what you write. It is you that will explore, and you will find out. I have my own methods, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they'll work for you. But I suppose to finish up this episode, what I'm saying throughout this whole episode and giving you some evidence-based facts from people's experiments is that it's vitally important for us to be a member of our own team. Like I said in my last episode, hi girl, thanks for coming back. I'll feed you now in a minute. And yeah, just an extension of being a part of the team. So like I said in the last episode, your body and your mind are projecting the best versions of you that they possibly can, and you have to be a member of that team, your soul, to bring in the trifecta. Well, an extension of you being on that team is you loving the team, you loving everything about yourself and your body, being grateful for this experience, being grateful for this existence, and trying to find harmony within your body by supplementing that with your words and with your feelings and with your expressions. And it's not easy. You're going to be sad, you're going to feel depressed. Even now, I'm not ill, I still feel sad and depressed sometimes. It's okay. It's not every day you're going to wake up and feel that way, but as much as you can. And yeah, keep it consistent. And I think that's all I need to say. I don't know if this take went very well. The cat came out and kind of interrupted my thoughts and my waveforms. But it is what it is. It's just an expression of myself today. So I'll leave you with that, everybody. I hope this episode helped in some way, shape or form. I know it was a little bit ad hoc as per usual. And yeah, I hope that what I am trying to get across transposed well onto this episode. If you are still here watching and you haven't subscribed, please feel free to do so. And yeah, if you leave a comment and just let me know how it all went and if any of this was actually useful or not, that would be great too. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you very soon. We should get another episode done within the next week to 10 days also. Thank you. I love you. Goodbye.